Welcome, robots that can apparently age, to Geek Salad's retro reviews from the Geek Salad podcast. I'm Andy.
And I'm Mike.
And tonight we are continuing with April Disney Month with our review of the 1979 Walt Disney Cult Classic, The Black Hole.
Yeah, I'm not going to call it a classic.
No, but it is a cult classic. I mean, it's
Okay.
one of those. It's one of those movies that kind of falls into that. It's definitely got an audience. You can count Tron in that. You can count Dune in that. You know, it's these. I mean, I know it's a 1979 movie by virtue. It's an 80s movie because you get like that 1 year removal.
Actually, it does feel more like a 70s movie than it feels like an 80s movie.
It certainly does. It has all the earmarks of like that Disney live action studio ADR at the time. Like all of the, there's just something about the audio in this movie. Like mainly when you're dealing with dialogue, that just it feels live action, mid to late 60s to all of the 70s Disney.
Yeah,
definitely has its own feel. It's like the animation,
Yeah, absolutely. And also, much like a lot of their early works, especially like like we talked about with Ben Ups and Broomsticks last week. This movie makes copious use of matte paintings.
Oh, and then some. We will get into that in just a little bit.
Yes.
So let me ask you, when was the first time you saw this movie?
Likely on like Wonderful World at Disney back in like the 80s, or maybe on VHS. I don't know. It was so long ago, and I haven't seen it since that I barely remembered anything from the movie.
Okay.
So I mean, essentially, when I watched it a couple days ago, it was pretty much my first time.
Okay. The first time I saw this movie was on television. It might have been The Wonderful World of Disney. Oh, matte painting is truly a lost art. Oh, Kurt, no idea, my friend. You have no idea. Things I've seen. And I'll hit on that in just a second, actually, after I tell you how I saw it. So, yeah, I saw it on The Wonderful World of Disney after years of not being able to see this movie. So, came out in 79, so I was about 7 years old when that movie came out. So, of course, anything sci-fi, it was after Star Wars, anything sci-fi I had to be a part of. I got the toys, which look nothing. If you're not one of the robots, and they only released like one wave of them. So Vincent looked pretty cool. Maximilian looked really good. All the other feature characters looked like crap. In fact, the Sentry robots had like these weird like joints on their tiny plastic hands that would break. So they were like really like, they were so cheaply made. They had a ton of articulation too, but they were all being held together by the worst rubber band known to man. So you couldn't really they would pop apart. So yeah, I had that. I had the comic books. I had the storybook. I knew everything about the black hole, but never got around to seeing the movie until I think I was a teenager. And by that point, I was just kind of in like that sarcastic haze that all teenagers get into. I know, hard to believe. And so the next time I saw it.
So when did you grow out of that, huh?
Oh, never. So the next time I saw it that I can distinctly remember seeing it was Disney had kind of like lost the video distribution rights to the movie.
Oh.
So it was released through Anchor Bay, of all places, on widescreen video cassette. So
that was actually pretty rare.
I wasn't working at Suncoast at the time, so there's your Suncoast story. But yeah, it was like in one of those cool like black tiny clamshells. And I was able to watch it there, and I could watch it in widescreen the way it was meant to be watched by man and God alike. And then watched it a couple times on VHS, and then it went away really until Disney Plus, where I think I've actually watched it a total of 3 times now. Once was just kind of like, haven't seen it forever, got to put it in my watch list. Watch a little bit here and there at work. And then I showed it to the kids. And then today I watched it another time just to kind of refresh myself. And I'm glad I did because, Kurt, let's talk about those matte paintings real quick. There is a shot of Maximilian flying up to go take care of whatever controls he's in charge of. And the entire bridge of the Cygnus is essentially matte paintings. So when they walk in, and you can see that there's a few actors kind of like moving around the stage, but everything above in the upper platforms, those are all matte paintings. Nothing moves. So when Maximilian goes up, and you can see it, they are clearly to his right side on the that deck on the bridge. They are very clearly paintings. They are very clearly oil paintings.
Yeah, and I mean, like in the scene where like Holland is exploring all the empty crew quarters, he's walking down that hallway, and I'm like, it's gonna cut real soon because he's getting right to that matte painting line, which you can see very clearly.
Yeah,
and sure enough, like before he gets like a foot within that, it cuts.
Right. I mean, there is some really good matte composition in this movie, and that's one of the things that is going to bring up what works about this movie. Honestly, I think that the art direction in general is really good about this movie. I think that the model making, I'll give it to George Lucas. I'm sure he can clean it up. It'll all be CG with tons of womp rats just running around.
Yeah.
No, you know what though, Kurt, you are right. Matte painting art is a loss because of CG. And when you think about stuff, you think about, like, quite honestly, the best matte paintings were all done for Star Wars and Empire Strikes Back. I mean, most of Cloud City is matte work. The actual floating platform city is a matte painting, and it looks brilliant. A lot of the stuff, especially when you get closer to it in the black hole, looks like concept art.
Yeah.
It looks like storyboard art. It doesn't look like it was supposed to make the final cut. But I do think some of the photo compositing that they did, like there's that scene they showed a few times, that long trench where there's the bridge that goes across and they've got like the carts and all that.
Yeah.
That is obviously not a set. And it's pretty seamless of what's moving in what portion of that, which is kind of how a matte painting is supposed to work in the first place.
Yeah.
I think the model work, especially the Cygnus, is outstanding.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of fuzzy on why the ship needed to be that big. Why you need to have like a tram taking it back and forth when there's really nothing in the middle. But that being said, the ship itself is a gorgeous. I mean, the model work on it is just top notch.
Well, yeah, I think also, especially when you compare it to the Palomino, which is so small, and I have a very hard time believing that 5 human beings could live comfortably in there for an extended period of time.
Yeah, I mean, how long were they supposed to be in that mission there for?
It's deep space. They could have been in there forever.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a very hard time doing that, especially keeping those whites as white as they did,
Yeah.
It's
futuristic technology.
Yeah. And I will give them this too. I feel like it was designed by the same firm that designed the ship from Spaceballs. Is that true?
Remember? Well, no. But just the constant camera shot. It's like going over
yes, that just the ship just keeps on going and going and going.
See, I got you, Kurt.
Is that the same model thing? You got me, man. You got me.
I understood, Kurt. I got understood, Kurt.
I haven't seen Spaceballs in forever.
No,
so
I watched it not too long ago. It's still funny.
Okay, yeah.
Yes, we know.
I have my wall. With Mel Brooks, but yeah, I kind of feel like that the robot designs, especially the 3 main robots, are really, really good.
The Century robots,
not so good.
Yeah, not as much.
You know what I really loved about, and again, this is one of the benefits of the HD. Watching the movie in HD is like Maximilian. I don't know what it is about like the robot hide they gave him, but it felt very leathery,
Hmm.
which looked really. I mean, it was an interesting concept. It's an unbelievably impractical build for a robot, but
I mean, well, we'll get into like the logistical error, the logical problems I've
yeah,
got with the movie later. But one of them does involve Maximilian.
okay. I
But his design though is, I mean, very, very red Darth Vader esque.
Yeah, no, it is. And you know, it was 2 years after Star Wars had come out, so they had
Hmm.
already. I don't think they had begun filming. I think it was in pre-production.
Hmm.
So I'm not sure exactly what aspects of the black hole, like the final product of the black hole, are part of the a part of the influence of Star Wars.
Yeah.
By the way, interesting trivia fact: this is Disney's very first PG-rated movie
Yes, I
for
did.
such
I did
liberal
notice that.
use of the words "hell" and "damn."
And some pretty weird, trippy visual sequences.
Well, there's also, Maximilian gutting a human being, so you've got that too.
Oh, well, I mean, yeah, sure. If you want to nitpick here,
Exactly. Interesting that was actually Anthony Perkins.
yeah,
How do you like it? Um, yeah,
yeah,
I can't fault a lot of the stuff. Even the special effects range from incredible to good to that's just animation. Back when there were only 3 ratings. Oh boy. Yeah, and I was 7, so it would have taken it wouldn't have taken a lot for me to convince my parents to take me to see this. I have no idea why I didn't see this. I must have just been bad. Uh,
you know.
yeah. Come on, I didn't see Tron until I was in high school either. So it's
Yeah.
another movie that I'm like, all the merchandise, all mine. The world is mine to conquer, and I didn't even get to see the movie.
Yeah, well, I consider one of those movies as higher than the other.
Right. However, another interesting trivia fact that the opening credit sequence of the black hole with like that computerized grid for the time was the longest sustained computer effect in film history. I saw Tron the year after I graduated. Fair enough, Kurt, but I have many years on you, my friend. So I had the opportunity to see this in the movie theater.
Tell me, I just want to know if it was different and like when you first saw it than it was when I saw it on Disney Plus, because Disney Plus it was like 2 minutes of just black screen with like an overture going.
Yeah, and I remember texting you that this morning. I'm like, okay, what's with the overture?
Yeah, I'm like, skipping ahead. I'm like, I hope that they actually have the movie here, or is this just black screen?
It's always been there. It has always been there. It's one of those things. It's just like, and you brought this up in our conversation this morning. It's just like Star Trek: The Motion Picture.
Came out the same year.
Came out the same year, exactly. There's a 5-minute overture. And it's like, okay, I can understand Star Trek maybe having one is because it had that more grandiose feel. By the way, that managed to get a G rating, believe it or not. But it's also got almost an hour on the black hole. The black hole is an hour and 37 minutes long. It does not warrant the prestige of an overture. They just made a film. They just made a film version of 2112 by Rush.
I just looked it up, and Star Trek: The Motion Picture beat Black Hole to the theaters by about 2 or 3 weeks.
Yeah, they're both Christmas releases, I think.
Yeah, Star Trek came out December 7th. The Black Hole came out December 21st. Merry Christmas, everybody! Death! Yay!
Probably why I didn't get to see it then. I don't have much memory of going to see movies at Christmas time when I was a kid.
Hmm.
Now I try to see them whenever I can. At this point, I just want to see a damn movie.
Yeah, fair enough.
But yeah, it was just like, what is the chicanery here? Why are we doing this?
Yeah, I was like skipping. Oh, produced by Buena Vista Video. Okay, so that I guess that was supposed to be there. Why? I didn't care.
Right. So then you're introduced to the John Barry score, which for the credit sequence is fantastic, but god damn is it overused. There are literally 3 themes in this entire movie. The main theme is through 75% of the movie. Yep. Then they have that weird heroic theme.
Yeah,
when Dan is like saving Kate from becoming, Robo Mummy, and they got like the super heroic music. Like, where is this coming from?
Yeah, it's like we got to have something else. Come on, we only got like 10 minutes left in the movie. We've got to have some other music score we can use.
Yeah. I will say also that Maximilian Schell is an amazing actor, and there was this one scene, and it wasn't really a Dutch angle. It was kind of done. It was an upward shot of him, and his face looked sunken like it was a skull. And it was kind of after he revealed that, all of them, yeah, they're dead. That was really good. But then there's another scene where he's upset with Maximilian, and he starts slapping his head like this, and I'm like, why isn't there a GIF of that? That is incredible and stupid.
Maximilian Schell, one of 4 actors in this movie to have appeared in Mystery Science Theater 3000 movies.
So it was him?
Yeah, he was in Hamlet.
He was in Hamlet. Ernest Borgnine.
Yep. Merlin's Magical Shop of Mystical Wonder.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anthony Perkins?
Nope. Not Anthony Perkins.
Right. Roddy McDowall, though.
Roddy McDowall, yes. In Laser Blast. Last one, you're probably not going to get. The last one is Robert Forster.
I was just going to say Robert Forster, yeah.
Yep, he was in the season 11 episode Avalanche.
Okay. Avalanche, is that the one that's on the Netflix MSC?
Yep, okay. With Rock Hudson and
it was Rock Hudson, and sorry, Mom, we got to kill you now. Hoping for Ben Murphy.
Riding with Death.
Oh. Sorry. Sometimes I'm just slow on the uptake today.
I didn't know it was Ben Murphy.
Let's go get those turkeys.
Anyway.
Anywho. So yes. The cast of this movie is actually pretty good. Not given a whole lot to do, except Roddy McDowall. Apparently, the need for Vincent is A, he's your R2 unit, and B, stop quoting stuff. Stop quoting philosophers. Stop quoting religion. Stop quoting literature. Stop it, stop it, stop it, stop it, stop it.
In Vincent's defense, he's the only good character that actually does anything in this movie.
That's very true.
Literally nobody else does anything in this movie. I mean, this movie could have cut its cast in half, and it would have been the same movie.
Yeah. Well, then, how could you get Ernest Borgnine to die like a pig in space?
Rub his sweater.
So hammy.
Yeah.
Such a hammy performance. Yeah, the whole thing with Vincent's weird, too, because it's like, you brought this up to me. What is the deal with the ESP?
Yeah, ESP is a human mind to a human mind, organic to organic.
Right.
Unless she's got some kind of implant, or unless Vincent is actually a cyborg with an organic mind, there should be no physical way of her to, telepathy with Vincent. It's just it's not physically possible.
Right. Right. And that was fixed in later movies with just the simple earpiece. Like,
Yeah,
calm, you know.
but that's not as special as ESP. Ooh, we know a word.
I guarantee there definitely were things that were cut out of this movie to explain certain things because they might have not held the 7-year-old's interest. The whole thing about ESP. There has to be an explanation for why all of these units, because they didn't say anything about Bob having ESP, and it was really weird listening to Slim Pickens actually try to quote any type of author.
And also, I kind of assumed that Reinhardt had ESP with Maximilian, because Maximilian never says anything, but Reinhardt seemed to always understand what he was saying or what he was thinking, but they never make any mention of it. In fact, he seemed very surprised when he's like, "Oh, you have ESP? Oh, okay."
Wow.
So, don't you have it too?
Yeah, that was kind of odd. It was definitely, there was an explanation early in the movie that got left on the cutting room floor, as well as Dan and Kate's relationship,
which just okay, now since it's the male lead and the only female character in the movie, they've got to be together. So,
exactly.
Boom, they're together.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's
what was the point of the shooting range? They're robots. Do they really need to practice? Well, obviously the sentries do, because they couldn't. The stormtroopers could give them a
amateurs.
They literally, Bob and Vincent were flying like less than 2 feet away from him. Oh, shoot. Oh, we missed. Darn.
Oh, maybe if they put joints in our legs
and articulation in our hands, maybe we could aim better. But the only one they did that was for the prototype.
Star.
Yeah, which.
Well, the funny thing with Star too is it would have been more impressive had he actually been able to twirl the guns.
Yeah.
He's doing this. It was very clear he's doing nothing but twirling his wrist. So, way to go, Reinhardt. You invented a type of articulation. You invented a point of articulation, just like my action figure.
I guess it was too much for it was too much of a hassle to put it into all the rest of the drones.
Right. Exactly. And then you had the like the regular humanoids. Yeah. Oh. Yeah.
Yeah,
that's all I can say. It's hard because I remember kind of liking this movie, and it's almost like the more I watch it, the more I'm like, I don't really know if I can be bothered anymore.
Yeah, I texted you when I was watching. It's like, it seems like nothing happens in this movie until it does.
Exactly.
And it's like for the first 2 acts, it's just long. Nothing happens. Lots of talking. Lots of anticipation. Nothing
He's a genius.
happens.
I know.
And then the third act, everything happens at once, usually without any kind of explanation about why it's happening.
Right.
Where the hell did the meteors come from?
They're being pulled into the black hole for no reason, unless they were already in the neighborhood somewhere. The sickness works, by the way.
The sickness has been there for 20 years, and this is the first time that any meteors have come across it. Yeah. And it's the first, and it's just as they were about to try and go into it, and it's just destroying the entire ship. And
yeah. The other funny thing too about this movie is it really feels like it takes place in real time.
Yeah.
There's never even an illusion that there's any gaps in the timeline, which essentially means that all of this happens within an hour and 10 minutes.
Pretty much, yeah.
Because that first scene of them in the Palomino took way longer than it should have.
Yeah, they get too close, then they come back, then they
Yeah,
dock. I also another logical problem I have is that we never really kind of we never really understand the relationship between Reinhardt and Maximilian because
no,
I
no,
mean
we don't.
at the, like there's a moment at the end, like after like the truth has been revealed, like and Reinhardt says to like Kate and Anthony Perkins is like,
Oh, it's just Kate because Anthony Perkins is dead at that point.
he's like, save me from Maximilian, and it's like, doesn't he taking your orders? What the hell is going on here?
Right, I don't quite get it, and the whole thing at the end of this movie.
Oh no, dude, that ending is.
Talk about the last 5 minutes of this movie.
I can't.
Nary a word of dialogue.
Well, the Palomino actors, they can hear like including Vincent. He's got to be a cyborg, honestly. There's got to be a real human brain in there because how is he hearing memories when he's a robot? Oh, this doesn't make sense at all.
But the whole thing with like Reinhardt ascending into hell, and there's Maximilian standing on top of this mountain in hell. There are devils all over the place, and then you only find out after that Reinhardt is in Maximilian.
Yeah, you see
he's trapped inside of Maximilian.
They're like floating in the black hole, then they just like hug each other, and then suddenly they're in each other, and then you see all like the dead crew of the zombie crews of the Cygnus just kind of walking around and in hell. and then the drone ship with the Palomino crew, they fly through what, heaven? But then they go out into space and they're going to a planet. Is the planet heaven? Is there was an angel?
Heaven.
There's an angel somehow involved in the weird gates, and what the hell just happened?
This movie really is kind of like baby's first Event Horizon, isn't it?
Oh, trust me, that I saw that one in theaters too, and I wish I'd never seen that one.
So my wife has too, actually.
Yeah, the comparison did not escape me when I'm like, people, the makers of Event Horizon obviously had a hard on for this movie.
New from Hasbro.
None of this movie. Then like the first two acts are just very dull and boring. Then the last act is as exciting and then confusing and stupid.
It is. It's really difficult too because again, I feel like this movie has earned its cult status.
That's fair.
I mean, a movie that's over 40 years, we're still talking about it. I don't, I know Disney doesn't release, like, I couldn't like go online somewhere and say how many views since X time has The Black Hole gotten on Disney Plus. I don't think they judge it like that.
I'm guessing it's probably not as many as The Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Probably not. If you want to hear that discussion, you got to hang out for our next episode. We got you. Yeah, there is enough in this movie to like if you can get past the silliness.
Yeah, I mean,
it's not even like good silly either. It's just like this movie definitely has all the markings of a movie that started. It was conceived years before, and I think that's actually the case. I think the original script of this movie was picked up very early in the 70s. I think Ron Miller was still in charge of Disney at the time.
Yes, he was.
So essentially, he did it like, okay, I don't think we got the money for this. Drop it. All right.
Actually, in 1979, Ron Miller was still in charge.
Yeah. I'm just saying that Ron Miller's probably in charge when they first like started getting the scripts done and all the drafts for it, and then they dropped it. And then I think after Star Wars, they're like, here's your money. Go make your movie with the cute robots.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like it was kind of inspired by like Poseidon Adventure and Towering Inferno.
Yeah, and I even, I mentioned this. I know you didn't really see all that much of it, but 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea is definitely loaned some influence as well.
Yeah,
Reinhardt very much is a Nemo type of.
you see, I gotta disagree with you on that one. I felt Reinhardt was more like a Dr. Frankenstein than
Well,
Nemo because
Reinhardt was. I mean, he's like an amalgam of all the things. I mean, I like the idea of the Poseidon Adventure, except I really would have paid more top dollar to actually see like the Cygnus like upside down.
that would have been pretty cool.
It might have been pretty cool, but you know what it does? It reminds me of the capsized Poseidon.
Mm-hmm.
From the 1970 movie, not the remake they did like 15 years ago. Don't bring your evil here. Yeah,
Yeah, I mean,
go ahead. Go ahead.
like Bad Nubs and Broomstick last week, I was like, there was faults in it, but there's a lot of charm in there as well. And the charm was more than the faults. This one, there are a lot of faults, not nearly as much charm.
Right. I think for it's just if you're taking Disney, live action Disney at this time is kind of top shelf Disney for this time period.
Yeah, for the late 70s, early 80s. Yeah,
there's a budget. You can definitely see where the money goes in this movie. It didn't really appear to me like they were trying to do things on the cheap, and I'm fairly certain they didn't make a dime from this movie. I'm fairly certain
no.
Flopped the box office.
Budget of 20 million, box office domestically is 35.8. It did not make money.
No, it did not. And this is back before like international dollars actually meant anything.
Yeah, internationally it probably made like $20.
You're exactly. Sci-fi was not that big back then. Yeah, I don't know. It's like I like the movie. But I can't twist myself into the same types of pretzels that I do defending Dune.
Mm-hmm.
That I can to defend the black hole.
Yeah, I mean,
let's be honest, I can't do that for Tron either. I really can't twist myself into those pretzels as well. I feel like with Tron, I don't have to.
Yeah,
Tron I do with Dune or the black hole, but
Tron does require a little bit of defense, but not as much. This one, I'm glad I saw it. I just don't think I'd ever. I'm not going to willingly watch it again unless like I have to show it to someone or something. It's not that good.
Right. Exactly. This is the kind of movie my daughter immediately scoffed at. My son was like, whatever. He has no memory of watching Tron, so I got to watch that with him now. So I know I showed it to him, but now I got to show it to him again. So, and we did do an episode on Tron.
We did.
So go through our archive. It is definitely there. We did it like about 2 years ago. So
yeah,
pre-Disney Plus.
Yeah. Well, we both owned it.
Well, that's true. Do you own it on Blu-ray?
I have.
You own it on Blu-ray. I don't own it on Blu-ray. I own it on that big, thick Disney DVD. The big, thick DVD case with the 2 DVDs in it.
Yeah. Well, this was the special edition with Tron Legacy and the original Tron and Tron Legacy in 3D. And if I had a 3D TV, that would mean something.
That would mean something.
I don't.
No one does.
Not anymore now.
Hands are magnetized, and if your hands were metal, that would mean something.
So MSC3K.
Anyway, so that's our take on the black hole. What are your thoughts on this one? Leave us a polite comment below. We want to know. Do you like this movie? Have you not seen this movie? Do you have a Disney Plus subscription? If you do, watch this movie. I'm very interested in seeing what you think of it. I don't feel like opinions on this are so divisive that it will get violent. Better not. But I kind of feel like the people that are like, no, that movie's garbage. I'm not gonna be like, you bastard. I'm not gonna be like that. I'm going to be like, I understand. I see where you're coming from. I totally see where you're coming from.
You're not far off.
No, you're not. You're not wrong. I happen to like this movie, but you know what? You're not exactly wrong on this either.
Yeah, I don't think it's garbage, but I also don't think it's good.
Yeah.
It's
You know what? It's
I can't really
delightfully average.
But see, I think I can't even call it mediocre.
Right.
It's not. It's not really even average. It's just it's bad, but it's kind of a train wreck that you want to watch. It's not good, but it's watchable.
It's a watchable bad movie.
There you go. There you go. I'll give you that.
It's junk food. That's what it is. It's junk food.
Something like this I could see on like MSC3K.
Yeah, I could absolutely see that. I'm shocked there is no riff tracks for it. Get on that, guys. Come on.
Yeah.
So anyway, we want to know what your thoughts are. Cole, leave a comment below. Keep it clean, please. Keep it polite. Don't forget, if you like this, what you see here, we do these every week. So don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Give us a thumbs up. Please share these videos. That is our lifeblood. Eventually, it'll be monetized, and that might mean something. Wow. Plus, Mike and I host a little podcast called Geek Salad. You can check us out wherever you get your podcasts. We are available on iTunes, Stitcher, Spotify, you name it. Please leave us, once you do that, please leave us a review on iTunes. Also go to Podchaser and give us a review there, because for the month of April, they are donating 25 cents to Meals on Wheels for every review that we get. And every time we respond back to it, there's an extra 25 cents. So boom. So definitely in these troubled times, please do that. So check us out there. If you want to know what we're up to, you can follow us on the social medias at Geek Salad Radio on Twitter and Geek Salad Podcast on Facebook. You can also check out our merch store at tpublic.com, keyword Geek Salad Podcast, where you can get our t-shirts, mugs, and all that other fun stuff. I am currently 2 weeks away from my second COVID shot, which means that immediately after that, I'm going to be sitting in bed and I'm going to be working on some new t-shirt designs. And Kurt, who's been commenting throughout the show, he and I are vaccine twinsies. So we're going to be getting dose numero dos. Wow, I'm so brilliant. We're going to be each get dose on the same day. So twinsies.
I'm just under 3 weeks away from
You just got yours last week, exactly. So you're just a week behind me, which is cool. Which is fine.
Yeah.
It's all coming together now. Thank God. So anyway, if you also like what we're talking about, we are going to be right back in a few minutes to discuss episode 5 of Falcon and the Winter Soldier. So stick around on our channel. Check that out. You will see us live in just a few minutes. And feel free, check out our archive and our playlists while you are waiting for us to come back. So until next time, I'm Andy.
I'm Mike.
Go forth and be nerdful. We'll talk to you in a little bit.